Hello everyone, I'm Alex Dykes, and today we're inside a 2015 Mini Cooper taking a look at the latest generation of the Mini infotainment system. Now if you're familiar with BMW's iDrive, this system will look very familiar to you because this is essentially the mini version of that same software package. That means that right down here at the bottom of your screen we have a controller that should look very familiar to all the iDrive users out there. It's the same control wheel but slightly different buttons surrounding the control wheel. Right up here in the dashboard we have essentially the same screen you'll find in the BMW 3 Series, however it is installed in this round center console, so the edges are a little bit rounded off. Now that also means that there are a few other things that you'll also see in BMW models. Right here in the center console we have a snap-in adapter which we can release from the vehicle right like that. You can buy various snap-in adapters for different kinds of phones, and that connects them to the car right there in the center console. We also have the same USB device input and an auxiliary input jack right there in the center console. Now in a vehicle as small as the Mini, there aren't that many options when it comes to placing controls, and you can see my only complaint about Mini's infotainment system, which is the placement of this center module. Right here my arm is on the armrest. I can reach forward and I can grab the shifter right like that, but reaching down to control the infotainment system is fairly awkward with this armrest in its place. If I move it up, then my elbow is hitting that back of the armrest, but it is a little bit easier to use. Still, it is fairly close to the floor. Now this is Mini's latest controller knob, which also includes finger writing recognition, so we can write numbers or letters on the screen when it's contextually appropriate right there in the software. Taking a closer look at this round center console, you'll notice we have this LED array that is surrounding the screen. Now this can be configured to do a variety of different things. Right now it's set to act as sort of a tachometer for the vehicle. So you can see we have the red zone right over here, sort of the yellow zone, and this means that we're idling right over here. Now we can also get different readbacks. So if I put this in green mode or sport mode, you can see that that display changes green, amber, or red depending on the mode that we're in. In addition, it will also turn colors if we switch over to the telephone interface. You can see it turns blue, the nav interface turns green, radio over there we have sort of an orange, and then media is also orange as well. Now down below the screen we have a direct access button for AM, FM, and our satellite radio. We also have a mode button that allows us to switch between our various input modes, USB, and that satellite radio as well. We have track forward and backward buttons here, volume and power knob right here in the center, and then these buttons right here at the bottom are the preset buttons in the system. Very much like BMW's iDrive, these are also touch sensitive. So as you can see, as I drag my finger across it, you'll notice that we have a readout right across the top telling us what that button is actually set to. So for instance, number 6 is set for the control display. So if I click that control display changes right there. You can set these for a variety of different things in the software, so it's not just radio presets anymore. Now let's zoom in on the display itself so we can take a better look at the software. We have sort of a main menu that's accessed by the direct access menu button right down there by the Mini controller knob between the front seats. You can see we have navigation, we have settings, we have vehicle info, Mini Connected, we also have office, telephone, multimedia, and the radio. This is again very similar to BMW's iDrive. Let's start out on the radio. As you can see, we have FM, AM, and satellite radio. We also can access our additional apps right over here. This is where you'll find Pandora integration logically associated with the rest of the radio applications. Now very much like iDrive, this system operates on nested menus. So you can see right over here, this area is highlighted. That's because our controller's over there. If I toggle to the left, it actually slides over here to this section, and you'll notice that we have this small portion right down here on the side that's now gray. That means that we have something to toggle over to. This is the same sort of thing that you'll find in all the other screens on this system. So if we click on media, for instance, you'll notice we have 2 nested menu items right back there. That's because right now we're taking a look at what's on our iPod that's connected. We can toggle back once, and then we get our list of media inputs, and then we can toggle again to see our music collection, external devices, and our tone settings. Music collection is sort of the media library that is built into this system. Tone logically is where you can adjust things like bass, treble, fader, etc. We'll go back and we'll select external devices so we can take a look at our multimedia device. Right now my iPhone is connected via USB. You'll notice that the system is smart enough when we scroll down here to the Bluetooth input that it's saying that the audio out of that device is currently going via USB. It knows that the same device is paired and plugged into the system, so it won't try and connect to it twice. We also have that auxiliary input right there, and then we can scroll down and manage our wireless devices via the Connections tab right there to add or remove them. Now using the media search option, which is this second option down, we can search via genre, artist, album, composer, title, etc. And this is also very easy to accomplish via this rotary controller. So we can either scroll down like that, or we can click the A to Z search And then you can either, again, use the rotary controller, you can use the voice input, or you can actually finger write right on this display. As you can see right there.
M-A-D.
And we can then toggle over to the right to find the track that we're interested in. So let's choose Madonna's Eyes, because I'm stuck in a 1980s B-grade movie, apparently. As you can see, after a short while, it will then start playing Jennifer Rush Madonna Eyes. Also displays album art right over there. Now the next option down is playlists, so we can directly go to our playlists rather than using that media search interface. This finds all the playlists on your device, including certain Genius playlists. We also have additional media right down there, audiobooks and podcasts as well, right from your device. If we toggle over to the telephone interface, it automatically defaults to our phone book, which is downloaded and synchronized from our Bluetooth device. If we toggle to the left there, we can see what our active calls are if we were on one, phone book, which we were just on, redial, received call listing. You can also dial a number. Again, you can use the keypad to draw a particular number. So if I can draw one on the pad here.
0, 1, 2.
See? It's very easy to input, or you can also use the rotary wheel to enter that number. Going back over to the left, we also have a messages option if your Bluetooth device supports that. It does allow you to see text messages and have them read out to you right there in that system. And the last option is the Bluetooth devices option. This is where you can see what is paired with the system, add new devices, and remove them, etc. Now going back to the main menu, we also have a settings option. This is where you can adjust a wide variety of vehicle settings, from how the touchpad behaves, date, time, instrument cluster, your control display, etc. This is the center instrument cluster, is what we're taking a look at right here. And in the center instrument cluster, you can adjust its brightness, and you can also choose what you want this LED readout that's around this display to do for you. Over on the vehicle info option, we can get a wide variety of vehicle info. Minimalism is the app that allows you to sort of improve your fuel economy by giving you a variety of different green tips and vehicle readouts. We also have quick reference. We can search our owner's manual via the system by pictures or browsing it around. We can choose onboard info, which gives you your range, destination, arrival time if you had a destination programmed in there, average consumption, and average speed. That is slightly different than the trip computer, which will give you very similar information. We also have vehicle status right down here, which you can see how your tire pressure monitoring system is behaving, what your engine oil level in the vehicle is. The system would also tell you if service was required, or if there was a diagnostic error that the computer determined something was wrong with the vehicle and you needed to address it. Under driving excitement, we can get a sport gauge readout, which tells you how much horsepower and how much torque your engine is producing. We can also check the vehicle and see if everything is okay. It tells us the range is okay, the outside temperature is okay, the engine temperature is okay, sport mode has been deactivated, and that we can activate sport mode by changing the little dial right there under the shifter. Mini Connected is the smartphone app integration portion of this system. We now have access to things like that Pandora app. We also have access to the GoPro app, which integrates with the GoPro app right here on your smartphone. If I had a GoPro paired with the system, then I would be able to actually activate the record button right there on the screen and change various camera modes. You can also turn off and turn on the GoPro and again play with presets right back there. You'll also find a variety of different Mini Connected apps depending on which app you have located on your smartphone and whether you have that Mini Connected app logged into the smartphone. Over here on Office, this is where you'll find things like your contacts, messages, and notes in the system. Now those contacts, messages, and notes are basically what you'll find also in the telephone app portion of this system. Last but not least, if we go over to the navigation system, you can see we do have basically the same navigation software that you find in BMW's products. We have this 3D mapping view, which is incredibly attractive. We also have traffic information right there on the screen as well. Rotate the knob to zoom in and out. Clicking the controller over to the left, we have our destination options that allows you to cancel your current destination or see where your last one was, turn on and off voice instructions, alter your routes, points of interest, traffic info. You can change the map mode to an interactive map. You can also change to a north-up view, the perspective view, etc. You can also see a route overview. Now if we toggle once more to the left, you'll see the various input methods for a destination in the system. We can enter an address, we can view our last destinations, points of interest, address book. We can just browse around on the map, we can see our stored trips, and we can also enter GPS coordinates right there with that system. Address entry is incredibly easy with natural voice commands, or with the controller knob, or with the controller touchpad. Last but not least, in most of the screens that you see here, we can actually toggle to the right once more, and here we can see additional options. We can see options that are pertinent only to the mode that we're in right now, so that's navigation. We can also see an option to turn on and off a split screen. So you can see we have a reduced map portion right over here on this side of the screen, and then we have entertainment details over here on the right. We don't just limit ourselves to entertainment details, however, you can choose various different things. You can choose a second map view right over there on that side, for instance. Now, in addition to those usual screens, we also have a mini minimalism display, which helps show you how efficient you're being at the current time. Very much like BMW's iDrive, this is my favorite navigation and infotainment software currently on the market. The software is very easy to use, it's very intuitive as well. It's also very elegantly designed in terms of the graphic layout and in terms of its operation. Now, for the Mini product line, certain things have been altered to fit Mini's particular style, so we do get very different graphics. For instance, right here in the main menu, we also get this screen that is slightly curved around the edges. The slightly curved screen really doesn't reduce the functionality of this system, and I think the graphics are an attractive and cheeky, playful thing to do with the Mini brand. Now, although the software is one of my absolute favorites and I really don't have a problem with the control knob input method, its position in the Mini does make it a little bit more awkward than I had expected in terms of operation. Previous generations of the Mini used more of a little joystick affair rather than a large center controller knob, and that did help raise it up off the floor just a little bit, made it a little bit easier to use. This generation, it does feel a little bit low and a little bit far away. Now, that will vary depending on your body size and your body shape, because some people may find it a little bit easier to get to that controller than others. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. Again, I'm Alex Dykes, and we have just been inside the 2015 Mini Cooper. If you want to know more about the Mini Cooper, you'll find a link to the full review on my channel as well. You can also click that banner at the bottom of your screen to be subscribed to all of my latest videos. You'll find me over at facebook.com/AlexNautos, over at Twitter as AlexNautos, and you can always email your questions to alex@alexnautos.com. I'll see you next week.